Hello everyone, it's really good to be here again, this yearly almost celebration of this little industry. I'm going to try to give you some input on our progress in Wales. I'm going to comment on sort of the small scale of things, the local things that really creates value and is sort of the core of success. And then maybe there's also some detours into the major perspective. What you see here behind Sue is an historic picture. It's a picture of our kite-based tidal converter coming out of the water for the first time after having produced electricity off Holyhead in North Wales in the Irish Sea. So for us, this has been a major event. We've been producing electricity for years in smaller scale devices. But this is where it really gets real for us, where we head towards utility scale devices. This is very much thanks to the local operations and operations development team headed by David Collier, my colleague that is here today. And just to give you sort of a little short story on the local content and the local value of this, what you may see is on the far left-hand side, there's a little crew transfer vessel next to our MGS buoy. That crew transfer vessel is captained by Andy from Amloch. And he's been committed fully to those operations for a year with us. And thanks to his skills, we're able to increase the operating windows of accessing that buoy where we've had some quality issues with components. So without that skill of maneuvering that vessel, we would probably not have succeeded. It just gives you one small, tiny piece of understanding of what it takes to move an industry like this forward. And that little operation in Amloch is not alone. I mean, we have at least another 20 suppliers locally in Anglesey that work on a continuous basis with us to move this project forward. On the larger perspective of things, I'd say that for us as a developer, we're based in Sweden and we're based in Wales, in the UK. And I'd say in the 10 years that we've been around, we've never been in a better position than now to attract funding, to keep our commercial agenda moving forward, and to engage with customers. It's very much thanks to the progress that we have internally, but as much on the changes in perception of the need for 100% renewable energy systems. To us, I mean, I listen to what we have to say to politicians here locally in the UK, and we talk about job creation, Andy in Amloch, and that's great, and I have some numbers on how many people we employed and so forth. But in order to create an industry, you must create customer value. And I think we should really be careful with talking about people supporting this industry or asking for government support because we create some peripheral jobs. This industry is about making it possible to reach 100% renewable energy systems. It's one of the largest needs on Earth right now. So I think we shouldn't sort of blur the picture with a lot of other needs that we satisfy. I also think that from the UK perspective, we've never been stronger in putting that argument forward. If you look in the industrial world, we're decommissioning 150 gigawatts of nuclear baseload capacity. And just a fraction of that is being reinvested in, like 5 gigawatts or so, which means that there's going to be an enormous gap when it comes to baseload in our energy systems. So when we see the vision, 100% by 2035, I think that vision is too modest. Why 100%? Why not 140%? This is an export industry for Wales with the potential we have in the oceans. So let's get going with that and export that to create a 100% renewable energy mix for the whole of the UK. That's important. And of course, I can try to show you some slides of things, but I'll move through this rather quickly. I think for us, we're a listed company, so it's basically Swedish investors, 9,000 investors That is sort of the private equity that goes into our operations here in Wales. It's matched brilliantly by the WEFO collaboration we've had, which is very important for us. And it takes time. We've been moving from very small prototypes 10 years ago until the device you saw on the first picture. And we still have our two main Swedish owners with us, that's been with us almost since the start, Midrock and BGA. Quite substantial contributors to what we do. We also have InnoEnergy. It's a EU-based entity that invests in renewable energy and energy-saving projects. Minesto is their largest commitment financially in their portfolio of more than 100 projects, which we're very pleased to note. What's put us in a favorable position, apart from sort of the macro factors, is the achievements. We're not done. This is the Linus shuttle, by the way. That was Andy on the sea. I mean, we've built the offshore test site, commissioned that. Towards the end of the summer, beginning of autumn, we produced electricity for the first time. And for us, that's the first verification on commercial scale, which is immensely important. We always talk about getting devices into the water and so forth and so on. And in order to do that, we need to bring substantial financial resources and capabilities into our companies to work with the best in the supply chain and the best there is with experience. And that is what we're doing here in Wales. It's very important to acknowledge that we are not a project developer in Wales. Our operations and operations development in Holyhead is an integrated part of Minesto as a company. It's half of the company's competence or capabilities is in Holyhead in Wales, fully integrated. So what we're investing here and building for the future is really the operations arm of what we're doing. And as you know, that's at least 2/3 of the cost structure of those projects in installation and in operations. So it's really the core of making our company competitive that resides in Anglesey. What's also good to note in this is that we engage in projects elsewhere. We're not just betting on what the guys in Westminster will do with CFDs and so forth. And in order to be in the Faroe Islands, in Florida, in Taiwan, or wherever we are with those projects, we use this Welsh Operations arm to make those projects come true. So we are de facto already exporting Welsh tidal competence into those areas, which we think is quite good. And we're hiring, so we're looking for more people into this. Yeah, we can. This is just the small numbers as of now, just to show that we're actually doing things. We're investing here. We're moving on. But as you all can imagine, I mean, we're still on the verge of commercialization for this industry. So this is just, it's a good start, but it's just a start. So the local suppliers, the collaboration with the Port of Holyhead, really important for us. And this is one of our next major steps here, is to get our assembly and workshop fully operational in the Port of Holyhead. I think we're aiming for third quarter this year to get that in place. For me, as a CEO of the company, even if I'm lucky sometimes to be able to go out there with the Linus shuttle and see the operations out there, I spend most of my time outside of the UK trying to bring inbound investments into this area. And I must say that the support I feel we have from the Welsh Government, Mark Drakeford, WEFO, is impressive. It's not just about sort of getting a few capex support initiatives going. I think the discussions we have on making consenting effective and reasonable, and also discussions on infrastructure investments to be complementary to the projects, is really the way forward. And if we look at the numbers, what it takes when we start talking about bringing 20–30% ocean renewables into the Welsh context, those investments will go far, far beyond anything we see today in what we're doing. And this will happen, and I think we have a very good position to actually deliver on that promise. So, thank you very much.